Thanks for staying with us. Yesterday we discussed the issue of protectors in the city of Johannesburg. Reports suggesting that the mayor will get about 10 bodyguards while the speaker gets 8. There will also be other officials who will be getting protectors, including City Manager Floyd Brink. Now, the Public Safety MMC yesterday, Dr. Mgcini was saying that there is going to now be a risk assessment, and this policy is not new, and saying that the reports that are currently out there are simply not true. So let's speak then to the Johannesburg's DA Caucus leader and Ward 74 Cllr Belinda Kayser-Echeozonjoku. Thank you so much for your time this evening. Firstly, I'd like to hear your response. The MMC for Public Safety yesterday saying that this policy is not new, and in fact it predates him. And he also says that it emanates from the time the DA was in control of the city of Johannesburg, and he also claims that it was put in place by those who are afraid to go to black areas, saying that he's disappointed in you as well personally because these are clear lies. And I wonder, how do you respond to all of this?
Good evening, and good evening to the viewers. I would firstly, I reject the claims of the MMC Chwaku. Firstly, they know that they are in violation of the upper limits, the tools of trade for public office bearers. If he had read the Constitution and actually have looked at the tools of trade in Section 15 that deals with the upper limits for public office bearers, he would see that VIP protection goes as far as Parkstown, Amos Masondo. These mayors also had protection, but the difference is it was within the allowable upper limits. It didn't start when the DA became the multi-party came into the city. It's in the Constitution. What we are concerned about and what we have rejected is the increase and going outside of the upper limits that is within the Constitution. The MMC is very economical with the truth, because he should have also told the public that the Speaker of Council have received a letter from the MEC of Caucus, cautioning them that they are going outside of the upper limits, and also listing the MMCs who are outside of the upper limits, and also the of committees that is not covered, because the Constitution and the gazetted upper limits tools of trade is very clear on who gets protection, and they have gone completely against that. So he must not mislead the public.
Belinda, he also says that he was the one that came into council and was the one that sounded the alarm, saying that this particular move is now going to be outside of the scope, and raising some of the concerns you're saying that are being raised by the MEC. So did he raise these concerns in council as per your recollection?
No, he did not, and that is blatant lies. In fact, Bongiwe, the Section 79, the DA councillors within the Section 79 committee had raised these concerns and asked for the report to not be brought to council. In fact, the ANC, even ANC councillors agreed that all of those councillors here in that committee, that the Public Safety Section 79 committee, that this report is irregular and it shouldn't go into council in its current form. The fact that the MMC is telling us that they are now hurrying to do a security assessment, he should know, if he had read the upper limits that is gazetted, that you cannot extend the VIP protection outside of the people that are covered by the upper limits. Those councillors, like myself as a ward councillor, would be covered by the councillor protection policy that is extremely detailed. So he is completely out of line and misleading the public.
And there is, of course, a lot of concern about how much all of this is likely to cost, and the MMC rather, saying that this is not going to, the people of Johannesburg are not going to be impacted when it comes to service delivery, as they now, as you say, going to be doing this particular risk assessment. Is that your understanding as well, that there is not going to be any impact at all should this come into being, especially when it comes to service delivery?
Once again, MMC Chwaku must not mislead the public. they have said that there will be no financial implications. However, imagine if you are adding a VIP detail, a vehicle, the vehicles that need to be bought for chairpersons who never had VIP protection, a vehicle for extra vehicles for the MMC of transport, extra protectors. Those people would have salaries that needs to be paid. Those are extra outside of the normal upper limits. And secondly, I would like to just say that there is no way that it will not impact service delivery, because the budget has already reduced from 83 billion to 76 billion. Service delivery, billion rand. Service delivery is collapsing within the city, and the very same people who are elected by the residents of the city want to protect themselves from their failure to deliver services to the residents of Johannesburg. And this is a slap in the face of the residents. And as a DA, we are actually taking legal advice, and we've issued a statement to that effect today. Our attorneys are looking at this very closely, and we will be taking legal action with it.
You taking legal action against the policy or something else?
Let me just say there's a whole lot of component of the policy that should not have come through, and also not as blanket as it is. The current administration have already provided protection to people prior to this policy coming into council and prior to security assessments getting done. Now that is already a violation. So all of those we are discussing with our attorneys in terms of how we are taking the legal action, exactly which components we are taking on. But it's definitely under legal review with us at the moment, and we will be taking legal action.
It'll be quite interesting to see which aspects of this particular policy, you will then take to court, because it's, especially some of the sections there that have raised, the interest, particularly when you think about some of the additions that are to be made here. But let's leave it there with you, and we'll get updates then from you on what legal action, what cause does it take, and what form does it take then. That was the Joburg DA Caucus leader and Ward 74 Cllr Belinda Kayser-Echeozonjoku. And of course, we'll also then need to look and see what the Cllr MEC in the province also has to say about this, as now we're told that he's raised some concerns.